Hello and welcome. Come on in. It has been a while. I have not done any readings in a while. I found out you guys aren't even paying attention to what I say. It's kind of like just temporary entertainment. You watch it and you don't pay a damn bit of attention or heed anything that I do say. So I'm kind of getting discouraged. If you don't agree with that, make sure you let me know down in the comments. Your comments down below, and I got to kind of pick a fight with you a little bit to get you agitated. Your comments make a big difference on where YouTube puts me in their algorithms. When you open up YouTube in general, there is a feed of all the subscriptions that you have, all the people that you like to watch. I am not in that feed in the majority of YouTube's displays. If you comment, that helps me get in that algorithm and then get me up there a little better. If you actually go to the search bar and search Tina Beatrice Psychic Medium, it also helps bring me back into that algorithm. So if you could jump in where you can and how you can and kind of let YouTube know that you're watching and following me. All right. I already have the paranormal flashlight set up. Man, I'm really wobbling today here. What's going on? What is up here? Okay, let's see if we can get that. I don't have the cat bugging me today. I was checking the light and dropped with. Okay, it is on. Right? Or wrong? All right, yeah, it is on. All right, it's off. It's on. Those of you new to the channel, that is my paranormal flashlight. It is a 6-inch mag light, and it's what we use when we do paranormal investigations. We welcome spirit in to use that light, and as I use it in my office and in my home, it is only beings of the light that are allowed to enter the sanctuary, and only beings of the light that are allowed to use the light. All right. I hope some of you are prepped and ready. We are getting closer to another Black Swan event. Thank you, Spirit, on the light. Those of you that don't know what a Black Swan event is, the barge that hit the bridge and collapsed the whole bridge, that's a Black Swan event. That wasn't an accident by any means. Those of you that think it was an accident, you're watching the wrong channel. Switch around. That was meant to be somewhat of a collateral damage, not directing a lot of human loss, but yet it is a huge disruption to our supply chain. We are going to have more and more of that. There are going to be more Black Swan events. We saw a train trestle, a bridge go down with a train on it. Okay? It's slowly but surely they're kind of cutting out some of our means of supply. Thank you, Spirit. Bam. One of the other things they are doing as they do that is scaring us. And you know what? I haven't gotten real serious about this because I don't want to scare you guys, because it's not going to affect most of us. But our grid is going to go down at some point. The electric grid, the computer grid, that means nothing. I had a couple here last week, did a reading for them, and I asked them if they had been prepped and ready, and oh no. They had a food stamp card. They didn't need to buy food ahead of time. They were expecting their government to hand them food in a time of crisis. No. You saw me make a post this last week about stop buying crab legs and start stocking beans, potatoes, dry things that you could put on your shelf. We will have a shutdown of our grid at some point. They have been warning us. They have been giving these little hints, and you know, we've got solar flares that are affecting this and that. Yes, and other countries want to take down our grid. You're not going to be able to use your debit card. You're not going to be able to use a credit card. You're certainly not going to be able to use an EBT card because the stores won't even be able to open. They have computers, remember? Every register now is a computer. So if you're waiting to the last minute and think you're going to be okay, don't go knocking on anybody else's door looking for help. Okay? Do not do that. If you do not prepare yourself, go down with your own ship. That's all I can say. That's all I can say, because I have been telling you guys and warning you. Now, I shouldn't have to point this out again. I'm going to get to the cards in a minute. But I'm going to. The up and coming election is something the psychopaths that run our country are going to try to control. And I'm not picking sides. No. I had people yell at me about, I kind of stand behind Trump a little bit. Tiny bit. Tiny. Only because he was hand-selected by the other side, by the spirit world. Because he was a big buffoon that had enough business savvy to push everybody else out of the way and drain the swamp. I don't like some of the things that he has done and said, but that's none of my damn business because he did it on his own time. He didn't do it in the office, right? Now, I'm going to say this, and for those of you that are still Brandon supporters, a lot of my work revolves around missing persons. And as I do that work, it leads me to human trafficking. And I'm going to spell this out for you guys. Human trafficking. They harvest body parts. Liver, kidneys. They also market whole people into this sex trafficking and that trade. Brandon, and I hope you're getting that, is in support of that practice. Hasn't come out and said it. There is a tonic that rich people take. It's called adrenochrome. I don't want you guys to believe it. Anything I say, I want you to do your homework and look this up. Adrenochrome is made from blood, plasma, a type of plasma, from tortured children who release adrenaline. That's how the adrenochrome, that's how it gets its name. As they're tortured, they release adrenaline, any human being. But the plasma from the children, the rich elites, the world people, the powers of the world think that keeps them young and fit. If you look at the decline that Brandon has had since he got into office and isn't able to access that little shot of elixir, his health has gone downhill. Nobody has touched on that. Brandon has, his own daughter said he showered with her at an inappropriate age. I hope some of you look a lot deeper at the candidates, and Brandon isn't going to be around. I do feel he's going to drop out after that debate. Some of the media, the big media, actually saw how bad he was. They did not know that he was being literally Adderalled up so he could do that. It was being hid from them. So they gave us all that misinformation. So Do your homework. Do your research. Look it up. Don't believe anybody. Don't believe anything. All right. I have been really jumping around because I have so much information I want to give you guys. This reading is for the 4th of July, the energy coming up. It's going to be okay. Oh, wow. 2 nights came out that time. It is going to be okay for the 4th. After the 4th, as we hit about the 10th and 11th of the month, things are really going to start to ramp up. July 15th, I started to give you guys those dates. July 15th, we have the Republican National Convention. Wouldn't you think that is a prime time for our enemies to launch some kind of setback and attack? Conventions are always a time when people protest anyway. So you're going to see a lot of protests, a lot of violence, a lot of rioting. It's coming. That alone could disrupt the supply chain. Get yourselves ready. You might not be able to go out in the street because, especially if you live in a big area, I live in a very rural area. I'm pretty safe here in Podunk. Not much is going to happen around here. We might have an old World War II veteran that may polish his rifle and stand guard, but we're going to be okay. Some of you are going to not have that luxury. If you live anywhere near a big city, stay away from big venues. It's easy for them to lob a bomb in a football stadium. I enjoy going to see the Pittsburgh Pirates once a year. I'm not going to do that this year. I'm sorry. I can do without it a year or two just to make sure that I'm not in that crowd. And I'm using my spidey senses on that too. Trust me. Now that date of July the 15th, that is the week of the Republican National Convention. And I am not the only one saying this. If you follow any psychic, any astrologer, any of them, they're going to tell you that this stuff is all coming too. I'm not the only one. Do your research. Do your homework. The planets that align also at that time are also for chaos, destruction, drama, and that is July 15th. The Democratic Convention is August 19th. Again, we're going to have, there's a full moon going on at that time. We know how crazy that gets. We also have this sun squaring Uranus, and Uranus is one that kind of, he likes to pick a fight with people, and just because he's bristly. But August the 19th is another time that we are going to hit a political peak because of the Democratic National Convention. And both of those events, we might not even have a president for a moment or two. There's going to be a squabble about the ballot count. I do feel Brandon's handlers will pull him out of the race. They need to get somebody else in there just to hang on to the the Democratic vote. Again, on November the 8th, I believe the election is November the 5th. On the 8th, we have another opposition with Mars and Pluto, and that is war. Now, the election's on the 5th, I do believe. I'll have to look that up. We've got that planetary alignment on the 8th. That energy still, it comes about 2 or 3 days before, and it lingers 2 or 3 days after. It's going to be another time that's just dangerous. Don't go into big cities. Stay out of those venues. But for the most part, we're going to be okay. When the grid goes down, it could be because of his solar strike, a sunspot, solar storm. One of the fellows that I follow that taught me military remote viewing And military remote viewing is what the CIA, the FBI, there was a Stargate program. It has a different name now, but it has a team of psychics that work for them. Anyway, his name that taught me was Major Ed Dames. And Major Ed Dames wrote a book called Kill Shot. And he has a lot of his predictions in there using military remote viewing. Where he worked for, he's a major. Who does he work for? Yeah, our government has these people that they work, do what I do, and they work for the government. So the grid is going to go down. In rural areas throughout the country, it may only be down for 3 to 5 days. That's what I'm predicting. That's what I see. Whether the entire grid goes down now, it's going to take a lot longer to get things back in rolling again. Just because things shut down for 5 days don't mean just on a 6th day, everything's back to peachy keen. That's not going to happen that way. So, do you have some supplies stocked in for about a 2-week period? If you have a child that has a medical condition, do you have enough medicine to get through those couple of weeks? Sometimes you have to lie, cheat, and steal with the insurance companies to be able to do that, but do it. If you have medications you need, try to get some ahead. Whatever it is. Now, I always say a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a cup of hot cocoa. If you've ever been in a survival situation, and I have, trust me, I have been stranded on a riverbank overnight. I have done all the survival stuff that a lot of people pay to do, but I haven't had to pay for it. Cup of tea, cup of coffee, cup of hot chocolate. Anytime you are in a survival situation, those things are just one little comfort. At the end of the day, get a cup of tea or a cup of hot chocolate, the lights are still out, you're still reading by a candle or lamp, oil lamp, but it just makes you a little bit of comfort and a little bit of relaxation to go, yep, we'll get through this. So make sure you have some of those little things like the tea, the cocoa, and the coffee. I have a wide variety of things that I have stocked up on. Canned milk, powdered eggs. I even have powdered peanut butter, which you can buy at Walmart. Right in the peanut butter aisle. It's on the top shelf. PB2. It is powdered peanut butter. Peanut butter is a survival food anyway. If I had to take to the woods to avoid capture or the marauders or whatever, I would take a jar of peanut butter with me because it has carbohydrates in it, it has protein in it, it has fat in it. It is dense with calories to keep you sustained with the energy you need. But start stocking up. Right there at Walmart. And I won't need this because I've got 5 or 6 jars of peanut butter on the shelf anyway. But some of those things that you can eat out of a can, old-fashioned raviolis, pork and beans. I have a camp stove, so I'm going to be able to cook meals. If you have a barbecue grill, an outdoor grill that has a burner on it, you're good to go. If you have a fireplace in your home, you're going to be good to go. You can at least get some food cooked or heated up. So we are going to be needing some supplies, and we need people to understand that I'm not the only one saying this. I'm serious. Check other psychics, check other astrologers, check Look around and see what they are predicting. All right. Now, we're 20 minutes in and we're going to get to the actual reading for the 4th of July. The last two cards that came out, and they came out together, were two knights. Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. Now, the Knight of Pentacles, you can see he is on a horse, not going anywhere. You're going to be spending a little bit of money. You might be staying close to home. He's not going anywhere because, you know, he is on a dark horse. He is watching the horizon to make sure nothing happens, nothing comes up. We have the Knight of Wands here. Look, this guy's riding a fiery, fast horse. His helmet even depicts plumage that looks like fire. It's fireworks. Use some caution. I have seen guys get their fingers blown off. It's not fun. Finger over there. Thumb over there. Be careful with the fireworks. Let the professionals do it. I know some of you guys love it. Some of you guys that play with black powder and have guns and do that kind of thing, I get you. And you know, it's fun to set off a few bottle rockets, but use some caution. That is the fireworks that is going to be coming for us. Now, if you happen to be a Virgo, and I have two cards that depict Virgo here on the table. We have the Nine of Pentacles. This is somebody that's confident, kind of secure, you know. This is about, actually, some of you are going to be gaining some financial abundance through that time. Whether it's something you started a while back and it's finally coming into fruition, whether it's a brand new project, I do feel that you have some financial abundance coming. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. Give me a moment. Yeah, that Nine of Pentacles is all about, it can be a Virgo in your life. And then I also had a Hermit card. Again, that can be a Virgo. And that is a 9 also. I never noticed that before, or didn't pay attention to it prior to that. Yes. Some of you are going to be looking for enlightenment. And you know what? I've instructed you to do the research, do your homework. Don't listen to anybody on TV. Don't listen to me. Do your homework. So many of you just take what you have been seeing on the national media as truth, and it's not. They have been lying to you. Again, another 9, the third 9 on the table. And this is the wish fulfillment card. 9 of Cups. 3 9s. 999. Wow, let's see what's going on there. For the holiday, you're going to have a good time. I think you're going to be able to put all the worries and woes out of your head, and that's exactly what it's for. It's also a time to celebrate the freedoms we have in this country, or the freedoms we did have in this country. The censorship right now is out of control. Absolutely out of control. It's not supposed to be that way. So take that time over the 4th and reflect on the freedoms that our country was based on. That 9 of Cups is also letting me know that you're going to be touching base with somebody new also. We've got the King of Wands. That king is about, that club is kind of a little bit warning us about that impending war. But yet he sits there so confident. He doesn't want to go to war. That's why he has that club or that wand. We also have the Seven of Swords. And this card is actually about lying, cheating, and deception. Was talking about our media and our news sources. And this card was the card that came out. Lying, cheating, and deception. Those news sources that told us to take this shot because it was safe. Those news sources that told us to take Ozempic, and I got to be careful, censorship. How many people are getting sick from that, dying from it? Kidney failure, heart failure. So, lying, cheating, and deception. This card is saying that you're beginning to see through it. You're beginning to see that you can't trust everybody and everything you hear. My grandfather had an expression that he said, don't believe anything you hear and half of what you see. Some of your grandparents probably said the same thing. Wise. Too many people are fake. That's why you don't believe what you see. And don't believe anything you hear until you can validate it yourself. We have the Six of Cups, which talks about celebrating. Over the 4th. This is actually a card that depicts family and friends. Maybe some reunions, some parties, some picnics. And we have the Sun card. Again, celebrating, healing. Use that celebration and go, you know what? It's time to regroup. Time for me to get my zest back. Time for me to get back on track. All right, you guys, there you have it. Kind of drug this one on a little bit long. It beats making 2 or 3 videos. But I really love and I value you guys. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here to begin with. And I never leave you, that I don't sincerely bless you with love and light. See you soon.